Today, we're gonna be cooking every 5-ingredient recipe. From mouth-watering savory dishes like this hot honey fried chicken to this must-try super easy chocolate cake. If there's anything you should be trying in this entire video, it has to be this cake. And to help me do that, let me introduce you to my greatest invention yet, the 5-ingredient randomizer. The way this works is whenever I press this red button, it's gonna spit out 5 random ingredients and I gotta make a dish with it. So let's see what I get. So I got chicken, flour, butter, honey, and soy sauce. All right, wow, what am I gonna make with that? All right, there's a few dishes I can make, but I'm gonna make something that's absolutely delicious. Okay, so our first ingredient was chicken. I got some chicken thigh here. It's about 1.5 pounds of chicken thigh. I'm gonna go ahead and cut these up into little cubes. Now into a separate bowl, we're gonna add in 1 cup of flour, and finally, 1/2 cup of ice cold water. And before you guys say anything, let's make the rules clear. Oil, salt, and water do not count as an ingredient because you most likely have that in your kitchen. If your batter is too thick, just add in a little bit more water to thin it out. You want the same consistency that I have. Now to our batter, we're just gonna add in our chicken thighs, and then we're just gonna simply mix that in and make sure you cover every piece of that chicken. You want it to look like this. We're gonna deep fry this chicken, so you wanna add enough oil so it submerges into the oil. All right, our oil has come up to 320 degrees, and now we're just gonna throw in our battered chicken. We're gonna cook this in the oil for about 5 to 7 minutes. You just wanna get a nice golden brown color on the outside. Our chicken is fully fried. I'm gonna set this off to the side and let it cool down so it gets even crispier, and we're gonna get started on the sauce. Into a cold pan, I'm going in with 4 tablespoons of butter. Now I'm just gonna turn on the heat. I want this to be medium low. We wanna move around the butter so it doesn't burn. Okay, I'm happy one of the ingredients came up to be soy sauce because this is what's gonna give it that umami flavor. I'm gonna go in with about 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. Now the star of the show, the honey. I'm gonna go in with about 2 tablespoons of honey. You can go 3 tablespoons if you want. We wanna bring it up to a slight boil and let this go for about 1 minute. Then we're gonna turn off our heat and add in our chicken. Ooh. Final step, mix it all together. And here we have it, honey butter fried chicken using only 5 ingredients. Let's go ahead and give it a try, see what it tastes like. Oh my goodness. Okay, I need to slow down because I gotta leave room for all the other dishes we're gonna be cooking. Let's bring back the 5-ingredient randomizer. You're probably thinking to yourself, what does this switch do on the 5-ingredient randomizer? Well, watch this. It switches from savory mode to sweet mode, so now we can make a dessert. Let's find out what we're gonna be making. We got flour, yogurt, sugar, butter, and heavy cream. Okay, I think I can make 2 different items that work together with this one. Let's get started. Okay, into my bowl, I'm going with 1 cup of self-rising flour and 3/4 cup of yogurt. And before I mix this up, this video is sponsored by Polybuzz, an app with over 40 million downloads worldwide that lets you create and chat with 20 million unique AI-generated characters of pretty much anyone you could think of. And since I forgot what the consistency of this dough should be, I'm gonna use the Polybuzz app to ask advice from the one and only Chef Gordon Ramsay. Okay, I found Gordon Ramsay. I'm gonna tap on his profile. This picture is hilarious. All right, I'm gonna ask him, hey Gordon, I'm making donut holes with just self-rising flour and Greek yogurt. What consistency am I looking for? He said, just self-rising flour? Greek yogurt? That's unconventional. What's the ratio of yogurt to flour and how long are you letting them rise? Well, Gordon, we're using 1 cup of self-rising flour and 3/4 cup of yogurt. That's a bold choice. Self-rising flour can be tricky with liquid. How long have you been letting them rise and what kind of pan are you using? Okay, I don't think he's understanding what I'm saying here. No, so right now I have the ingredients sitting in my bowl. You've got raw dough sitting out for how long? No, we don't have dough. Don't have dough yet. I just have the flour and yogurt. I'm just curious what consistency we're going for. Okay, he said, oh, well, if you're mixing soon, it should be firm enough to handle without breaking, not too watery, not too dry, more like soft clay, but not mushy. Oh, all right, thanks, Gordon. Okay, Gordon said we're going for a soft consistency, so that's exactly what I'm gonna be doing here. Now, I'm just gonna mix this together and pour this out, and then we're just gonna mix it with our hands. If you wanna try chatting with AI-generated celebrity chefs, or really any character you can think of, download Polybuzz using the links in the description. Make sure to use my code Zeinali77 at checkout. It unlocks premium features for 3 days completely free. You can even build your own character from scratch, or just go bother somebody else's Gordon Ramsay. Mine had a lot of opinions about my dough, but look how nicely it's coming out. Perfect, this is what we're going for. I'm so glad it worked. We're gonna take a little piece of our dough, and then we're gonna just shape this into a ball. You want it to look like this. Now that we rolled up all our dough into little balls, we're ready to fry it up. I'm bringing some vegetable oil up to 300 degrees. You don't wanna go over this. Now I'm just gonna add in 4 to 5 dough balls into the oil. Once our dough is golden brown like this, it's ready. With our donuts, we're gonna serve it with caramel sauce. And yeah, I know what you're thinking. This fits within our 5 ingredients and it's pretty awesome. So into a pot, I'm gonna go in with 1 cup of sugar. And on medium heat, I'm gonna stir the sugar and wait for it to melt and turn into that nice, beautiful caramel color. That's the color we're going for right there. Deep, dark, rich caramel color. Okay, now to this, we're gonna add in 6 tablespoons of cold butter. And it's gonna instantly start reacting. You wanna keep mixing this. All right, last but not least, we're going in with 3/4 cup of heavy cream, and that's what's gonna give it that nice, thick, creamy flavor. And we're just gonna keep mixing this. I'm gonna cover our donut holes with some sugar. So into a baking pan, I'm gonna add in just a bit of sugar here, and then just toss your donut hole right into that sugar. You just get your baking tray and start moving it around. Oh, this looks beautiful. I mean, just look at that. Donut holes are ready. All that's left to do is pour our caramel sauce into a glass bowl. Oh man, this is beautiful. Here it is, donut holes with caramel sauce. Oh man, look how amazing this looks. By the way guys, this recipe is featured in my cookbook, which I'm giving away to 5 of you. All you have to do is make one of the dishes from this video, take a photo, upload it to Instagram, tag me, and use the hashtag 5ingredientsguy. Whoever has the best looking photos will get a signed copy of my cookbook. I'll choose a winner in a week. Oh, that is amazing. All right, let's switch from sweet to savory. Here we go. Ooh, okay. We got ribs, we got vinegar, we got sugar, we got seasoning rub, and we got ketchup. Okay, this one's an obvious one. I know exactly what to make. All right, I got a rack of baby back ribs here. You could use beef, pork, anything you like. And to that, we're gonna go ahead and cut each rib out. I'm gonna add the seasoning rub, but before I do, I'm gonna pour some oil onto my ribs just so it could bind to something. All right, I got myself barbecue seasoning rub. You could use anything you like, but this is gonna be perfect for what I'm about to make. All right, my rib is fully seasoned and it looks beautiful. Okay, onto a baking sheet. I covered it with aluminum foil so it doesn't get too messy. I'm gonna go ahead and line up my ribs. I'm gonna space these out as even as possible. All right, we're gonna take some more foil and we're just gonna go ahead and cover our ribs. Now we're just gonna pop this into a 300-degree oven for about 2 hours. Okay, to make the barbecue sauce, I'm gonna go in with 6 tablespoons of ketchup, 1 teaspoon of vinegar, and 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. On medium heat, I'm just gonna mix everything together until the sugar fully melts and we get that slight boil. Once you get a slight bubble like this, we're gonna let this go for about 45 seconds. Okay, 2 hours later, our ribs are out of the oven. Let's take a look. Ooh. Oh my goodness, look at that. All right, now I'm gonna take a brush and brush each rib with that barbecue sauce. All right, now we're gonna toss this back into our oven on broiled setting until we get a nice char on top. We're gonna let that go for about 7 minutes. Our ribs are ready. I mean, just look at this. Oh my goodness. Here we have it, fall off the bone ribs. These look absolutely amazing. Oh my goodness, the rib is so tender. This is beautiful. If you make this, it's gonna be the best ribs you've ever had, I'm telling you. All right, let's switch it from savory to sweet. Here we go. Okay, let's find out what our next ingredient is. Oh, okay, we got chocolate, heavy cream, Oreo, you know I love Oreo, cocoa powder, and mint leaves. Ooh, okay. We're gonna make something a little different. It's gonna be fun. It's probably the funnest item in this video. Okay, the first ingredient I got on the randomizer was chocolate. And in my hands, I have chocolate wafer. This is basically chocolate that doesn't need to be tempered. They come in this little wafer shape that's easily meltable. So into a bowl, I'm going in with about half a cup of chocolate wafers. And now we're just gonna pop this into the microwave 30 seconds at a time until everything melts. Okay, now we're gonna need a paper cup. I'm going with the Dixie brand because it works the best for this dessert. Now we're just gonna add in a bunch of
of our chocolate. You could eyeball this because we're gonna pour a lot of that out. Now you're gonna take your cup and you're just gonna swirl the chocolate inside. Once you got a nice coverage of chocolate, we're gonna go ahead and pour out the rest. Okay, this is perfect. We're gonna toss this into the fridge until the chocolate sets. About 15 minutes later, our chocolate is fully set. I'm gonna take a pair of scissors and gently cut a little slit into my paper cup here. And once you get that slit, you're gonna start pulling the paper cup away from the chocolate. You gotta go slow here because you could crack the chocolate. And if you crack the chocolate, you gotta start over. We don't wanna do that. And once you get a good chunk of that paper cup out, it'll just slip out of the bottom. I know what you're thinking. Pat, the top looks ugly. Well, let's fix that. Heat up the pan on high heat for about 30 to 40 seconds. 40 seconds later, we're gonna turn it off. Take your chocolate cup and gently start pushing it down onto the pan here. And that's how you get a nice clean edge. Into another bowl, I'm adding about a cup and a half of heavy cream here. And then with a hand mixer, we're gonna whip it up until we get whipped cream. 3 minutes later, we have whipped cream. Into a blender, we're gonna go in with a handful of Oreos, maybe like 6, 7. Into my blender, I'm going with about this much Oreo. Oh, this is one of the only recipes in this entire video where you could just eyeball everything. We're gonna take a quarter of this Oreo and toss this into our whipped cream. We wanna fill up our chocolate cup a little over halfway up. And then we're gonna top the rest off with some crushed Oreos. Last but not least, we're gonna place our mint leaf right in the middle. Here we have it, a fun, edible potted plant. Listen guys, if you're trying to impress a date or if you're trying to impress some kids, make this dessert dish. It's super easy, it's super fun, and you just take a spoon, get a little bit of that heavy cream, it's a messy dessert, but it's absolutely delicious. We got chocolate on the side. Okay, I'm gonna finish this. Let's move to the next. All right, that edible potted plant was delicious, but now I'm ready to go from sweet to savory, so here we go. I hope we get something good. Oh, okay. I like this. We already got potato. We got cornstarch, cheese, butter, and garlic. I'm gonna make one of my favorite potato dishes. First thing we're gonna start off with is potato, my favorite vegetable on this planet. I love this thing. We're gonna take a really large potato. We're just gonna peel the skin. The most important thing for this recipe is making sure the skin is completely off. We don't want little bits like this. That looks pretty beautiful to me. We're gonna roughly chop up our potato. Into a pot of boiling water, go ahead and drop in your potatoes. All right, about 15 minutes later, our potatoes are fully boiled. And the way I check is put a fork through it. If it's tender, it's ready to go. We're gonna take out our boiled potatoes, drain out as much water as you can and put it into a bowl. Here comes the fun part. Take a masher and start mashing up your potatoes. It's a little bit of an arm workout, but it's worth it. For our mashed potatoes, add in about a teaspoon of salt, half cup of cornstarch, and 1 cup of mozzarella cheese. Now you're just gonna mix everything together. We're gonna kind of wanna start kneading this and get a nice shape going. All right, once we got our nice potato dough ball, we're gonna take about half of the dough ball and toss it into the Ziploc bag. Our goal is to fill up this entire Ziploc bag with the mashed potatoes. So take a roller and just get every little corner here. Now we're gonna pop this into the freezer for 30 minutes. And about 30 minutes later, our potato has set. Now we're just gonna gently open up the Ziploc bag. Beautiful, that's exactly how we want it. And now we're just gonna horizontally cut pieces out of our potato, and this is exactly how we want them. All right, now I got a shallow pot of oil. I brought it up to 300 degrees Fahrenheit. Now we're just gonna take our potato cheese sticks and fry these up. About a minute and a half later, our potato sticks are beautifully golden brown. All right, our potato cheese sticks are fully fried. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and plate this up. Here we have it, potato cheese sticks. These potato cheese sticks look absolutely amazing. So let's go ahead and try it out. Oh man, this is amazing. Because of that cornstarch, you get a little bit of chewiness out of it. That cheese adds the creaminess. Absolutely amazing. You guys have to make this one. All right, let's switch this from savory mode to sweet mode. Here we go. Let's see what we get. All right, what do we get? Oh, Oreo, okay. We've already got Oreos before. You know how much I love Oreos. Milk. Not bad. Baking powder, a chocolate bar, and heavy cream. You just opened up a world of desserts for me, but I'm gonna make my most famous and probably my most favorite dessert of all time. So for this dessert, I'm gonna make my famous Oreo cake with a chocolate bar on top because we got all the ingredients for it. So I'm just gonna take a pack of Oreos. So into my blender, I'm gonna go in with 28 Oreos.
Colby. And now we're just gonna simply blend up our cookies until they turn into fine powder. Perfect. We're gonna take our crushed up Oreos, throw that into a bowl. And to that, we're gonna add in 1 teaspoon of baking powder, a 1/4 cup of heavy cream, and 3/4 of a cup of milk. Then give that a good mix until we get our cake batter. We wanna pour our cake batter into a baking dish. I'm using this bread loaf pan. I'm using an aluminum one, so I could just kind of throw it away when I'm done with it. And simply pour in your cake batter. Now we're just gonna toss this into a 350-degree oven for about 30 to 40 minutes. 30 minutes later, our cake is baked. I let this fully cool down for about 40 minutes. And now I'm just gonna carefully remove the cake out of the mold. And then we're gonna put this onto a wire rack because we're still not done yet. Thanks to the 5-ingredient randomizer, we got a chocolate bar. So just go ahead and place the Hershey bar right on top of your cake. And then we're gonna pop this back into the oven to slightly melt the chocolate. Follow me to the oven. I have the oven set to about 300 degrees, and I'm just gonna go ahead and open this up. And we're gonna pop this into the oven. I'm just looking through the glass to make sure that the chocolate slightly melts. If you leave it here for too long, it's gonna completely melt and it's gonna ruin the cake. Perfect. Okay, that's it. That's how quick it is. I'm gonna pop this out. You could see on the edge here that it hugged the cake, and that's exactly what we want. Back to the counter. And here we have it, a 5-ingredient chocolate cake that looks absolutely beautiful. Okay, my favorite part, trying the recipe. I'm gonna take a nice big slice here. Oh, it's so soft. If there's anything you should be trying in this entire video, it has to be this cake. It's so easy, it's so delicious, it's so perfect, and I'm gonna finish this whole cake. All right, it's time to switch the randomizer from sweet mode to savory mode. Here we go. All right, let's see what the randomizer gives us. All right. What do we get here? What do we get? Oh, okay, we got chicken. I like that. Eggs, cereal, hot sauce, and honey. What? Chicken? Isn't cereal like... I think I know what I'm gonna do. I got it. All right, for this dish, I'm gonna be using chicken tenders. I'm gonna take about 1.5 pounds of chicken tenders, toss that into a bowl. And to my chicken, I'm adding in about 1.5 teaspoons of salt. And luckily we got some hot sauce, so I'm gonna marinate it with hot sauce. You could use any hot sauce that you like, but I'm using my good friend Nick DiGiovanni's Osmo Magic Hot Sauce. So to my chicken, I'm gonna add in about 1 tablespoon of hot sauce. And to that, we're gonna add in 2 eggs. Now just take your hand and start mixing everything together. The 5-ingredient randomizer gave us cereal, which is a bit weird, but I figured something out. I'm gonna take some cornflakes and bread our chicken with it. Toss that into a bowl. I'm just gonna take my hands and start crushing up the cornflakes. Go ahead and take this chicken mixture here and toss that into our cornflakes. And we're just gonna cover every side of that chicken with cornflakes. I like to get a good amount and just press it down so it really adheres to the chicken. That's exactly how you want it. We got a pot of oil at 320 degrees. I don't want to go any higher because we want to cook the chicken through. So into 320 degree oil, go ahead and drop in your chicken. And we're gonna start frying this up. Oh man, that is looking beautiful. Look at that color. For our fried chicken, we're gonna be making a delicious hot honey sauce. So into a pan, I'm gonna go in with about 2 tablespoons of honey and 2 tablespoons of hot sauce. And on medium heat, we wanna mix this all together until we get a light boil. Once you see this light boil, go ahead and turn off the heat. And our hot honey is now ready. Now all that's left to do is take your fried chicken and drench it in your hot honey sauce. This looks beautiful. And then put that back on the wire rack and let that sauce kind of just sit there and hug the chicken. And here is our final dish, hot honey fried chicken. Let's see if it tastes delicious. Cheers. All right, let's switch this to sweet mode. I'm a little nervous, but I'm ready. Here we go. Oh, all right, we got a chocolate bar, food coloring, okay, sugar, corn syrup, and cornstarch. Wow, that is a weird combo. What do I food color? The cornstarch? I think I have something in mind. I just hope it works. Okay, so for this dessert, there's 2 parts to it, which we're gonna combine together. The first part, we're gonna be making angel hair candy, also known as dragon's beard. So into a pot, I'm gonna add in 2 cups of sugar, about 1 cup of water, a 1/4 cup of corn syrup, and thankfully we got some food coloring so we can make it pretty. I'm going with green. Okay, so we're gonna put this on medium heat, give it a little stir, and we're gonna bring this up to 260 degrees Fahrenheit. Boom, there you go. We hit 260 degrees. I'm gonna transfer this into a container, and I'm gonna pop this into the refrigerator for 30 minutes. While we wait for the sugar to set, we're gonna be setting up the chocolate. In my hand, I have a chocolate mold. I got a chocolate bar that's pretty deep because I wanna stuff it with the dragon beer. I have yellow chocolate and I have regular chocolate here. For the yellow chocolate, we're just gonna kind of sprinkle the bottom with it and get a nice little design. And then I'm gonna take my regular chocolate and then just fill up my mold with it. Now I'm just gonna give this a little wiggle, get every side of my chocolate bar here. I'm gonna dump the excess chocolate back into my bowl here. And that's exactly what you want it to look like. It's been about 30 minutes. Our sugar mixture should be ready. Onto a baking tray, I'm gonna go in with some cornstarch. Finally, take out your sugar mixture. The texture should not be hardened. It should be a little loose so you could kind of start molding it around. It's gonna be a bit sticky, but place that onto your cornstarch. Slowly start shaping this. So once you get a puck here, go ahead and poke a hole in the middle. And then we're gonna slowly start stretching this out. Careful, you're not trying to break this. Loop it once and start stretching it. So yeah, we're just gonna keep repeating this process. We're slowly getting there, look at that. This is like over 1 million layers here. This is crazy. Now we're gonna take a little bit of this angel hair candy and stuff it into our chocolate bar. And now we're just gonna take some more melted chocolate and place that on top and close up our chocolate bar. Give this a tap. Beautiful, now we pop this back into the refrigerator for about 5 minutes until the chocolate sets. Our chocolate has fully set. Now we're just gonna demold it. Oh, that looks beautiful. Look at that. All right, time to crack into our chocolate bar to see that beautiful angel hair. Here I go. Oh, wow, look at that. And here you have it, a 5-ingredient angel hair chocolate bar. I'm so excited to try this one. Okay. Oh my goodness, this one is super fun to eat. You get the texture of that angel hair that's like soft and chewy with that delicious chocolate. I really love this one. All right, it's time to make the switch from sweet to savory. Here we go. Let's see what we get. Okay, what do we get here? Flour, milk, vinegar, yeast, and marinara. Wow. Ooh, okay. I'm gonna make something that's gonna blow your mind with only these ingredients. Let's get started. All right, so basically what we're gonna be cooking up is pizza. And I know what you're thinking. Well, I didn't see cheese on the 5-ingredient randomizer. Just wait, you'll see. Into a bowl, go in with about 200 grams of bread flour, 4 grams of yeast, about 4 grams of salt, and 200 grams of water. Once you get a rough dough, you can pour this out and start kneading it with your hands for about 10 to 15 minutes, but I'm just gonna use a machine. Okay, now I'm gonna just turn on the stand mixer to medium speed and let this go for about 10 minutes. And after about 10 minutes, your dough should be ready. And now you're just gonna take a bench scraper and we're gonna start just shaping this into a dough ball. What you're trying to do is create that tension on top of the dough, and now that's ready. And now we're just gonna take our dough ball, place it back into the bowl. I'm gonna cover this and let this sit at room temperature for about 1.5 hours to 2 hours until it doubles in size. We're gonna make our own mozzarella cheese. Into a pot, go in with 1/2 gallon of raw milk. Now I'm gonna keep stirring the milk and I'm gonna bring this up to 115 degrees Fahrenheit. We wanna constantly be checking the temperature. You don't wanna go above 120 degrees. Boom, 115, I'm gonna turn off the heat. Okay, now we're gonna add in 7 tablespoons of distilled white vinegar. And what you'll immediately notice is the texture will start changing and you'll start seeing cheese curds. Once the vinegar is mixed in, we're gonna cover this and let this sit for 5 minutes. All right, 5 minutes later, all I'm doing is pushing the cheese curd from one side of the pot to the other and pressing it together to create some form so I could take it out. And you're gonna move this into a separate bowl. Okay, once you get into a separate bowl, we're gonna squeeze out as much water as possible. We gotta heat this back up. So I'm gonna put this into the bowl and I'm gonna pop this into the microwave 30 seconds at a time until I reach an internal temperature of 160 degrees. We're gonna go ahead and stretch the cheese and fold it on top. And we're gonna continue this process until the cheese becomes nice and soft. Whew, it's really hot, so be careful. This is how you want your cheese to look, and we're gonna dunk this in ice cold water. Cool, now we're just gonna wrap this up with some saran wrap and toss it into the fridge. After about 2 hours, our dough has tripled in size. We got some nice bubble action going over here, beautiful fermentation. So now we're just gonna deflate our dough, just like that. We're gonna get 2 dough balls. Then we're just gonna go ahead and shape these back into a dough ball. Put them into any container you might have. Put a lid on top and make sure they're fully covered. And pop these into the refrigerator for 24 hours. 24 hours later, my pizza dough is now ready. Now I'm gonna slowly start shaping my pizza. I'm gonna first start with the crust here, kind of press down on the edge. If you worked at Domino's Pizza like I did, you could start slapping out your dough. Yeah, this is what you do. You just kind of go back and forth, back and forth. Whoo! And let's get to grating our mozzarella cheese. And after an hour of being in the fridge, our mozzarella cheese is ready. And I can't believe I made this. Now we're just gonna go ahead and grate the cheese. All right, about 12 minutes later, our pizza is officially ready. And here we have it, a 5-ingredient pizza where we also made our own mozzarella cheese. Here we go. Wow, the fact that we let this sit in the fridge for 24 hours, so much flavor in that dough. The cheese is just so fresh. I've never had cheese like this before. This one's absolutely delicious, wow. All right, let's switch our 5-ingredient randomizer from savory to sweet. Here we go. All right, what do we got? What do we got? We got chocolate milk, we got eggs, flour, heavy cream, and sugar. We have flour, right? We got flour? Yeah, we have flour. I know what to make. Let's get started. All right, this one sounds a little crazy, but I'm gonna be making a dessert burrito. We have all the ingredients for it, and I know you might be like, what is a dessert burrito? Well, just watch. So into a bowl, I'm gonna go in with some chocolate milk. This is about 1.5 cups of chocolate milk. To that, we're gonna add in 1 cup of flour and 2 whole eggs. We wanna get rid of any lumps that we might have. For this recipe, we're gonna need a non-stick pan because it works the best. Place it onto some medium heat. You want a thin layer of batter here. We're not trying to go too thick. Then just put a lid on top and let this go for about 1 to 2 minutes. And there we have our crepe, and it looks great. Now for the stuffing of our burrito, luckily we got some heavy cream, so throw that into a bowl. I have about 1 cup of heavy cream here. Now we got some whipped cream. I'm going in with about 1/2 cup of powdered sugar here, and then we're just gonna whip that in. Now I'm gonna take 3 pieces of the crepe we just made. We're gonna lay that flat. We're gonna take this second piece and the third piece, same thing. And then we're gonna take our heavy cream and spread it in the middle of our burrito here. Okay, we're not done yet. We're gonna pop this in the refrigerator for about 1 hour. Our dessert burrito has fully rested in the fridge, and now I'm just gonna cut it in half. Oh man. It's kind of like a Swiss roll cake, but with crepes, and it's gonna taste absolutely delicious. Nonetheless, we just made a delicious dessert burrito. All right, let's give this a try. It just keeps blowing my mind that I'm able to make 5-ingredient dishes that taste absolutely amazing. The point of this video is to show you guys that cooking doesn't need to be difficult. Cooking doesn't need a ton of ingredients. The simpler, the better. Let me know which one was your favorite, and I'll see you guys in the next one.